Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I had a colonoscopy this morning. Of all things, I actually had it this morning. They knocked me out, did the thing, and I came out with a clean bill of health ultimately going forward. But they said that they used to say that 50 years old is when you should go and get one. They said that they're changing the age to 45. I'm 47. So I decided to go ahead and knock it out. It's a done deal. Wasn't any big deal. My body is kind of out of sorts. I had to be driven home, but my wife drove me home, and so now I've been sitting here for about a couple hours just going through the news and stuff. So I feel better. But everything's pretty cool now. Drinking some water. Your main thing is they don't let you eat anything the day before. So more than anything, my body is just out of sorts. A lot of times in the past when I've had to do things like that or had a surgery, I tend to get like a migraine headache because my body's off kilter till it gets back to normal. But anyway, everything went cool. All right. The market has come back a little bit today. We're back over just over $2 trillion. XRP up 4% or so at 79 cents. Let's go through a couple interesting things. ProCoinNews.com had tweeted this out. What's your highest price prediction for XRP in 2022? 71% of people think it's going to be over $5. I'm in that 71%. I think that's what that check mark is because that's what I chose. I do think that. I also think this. Crypto bull. $10 XRP by March. I don't necessarily think by March, but I believe that 22 is our year. Now, I could be wrong. That's just what I think. Okay. Now this is also what I think. I was telling you guys this 3 years ago. This crypto market, and I was saying it when it was $100 billion. This is the first new asset class since the creation of bonds. And just to tell you something interesting, the first time that bonds were introduced in the United States were the Liberty bonds back the same year that that we had. You can go and look on YouTube and you'll see people wearing masks walking through the streets. It was during the Spanish flu, 1918 maybe. You can see there's a march in San Francisco and everybody's wearing masks on the last time when a new asset class was introduced in the United States. Now we've got ourselves a new current events, I call them. Look at this. ARK Investor Director, crypto assets will be worth $40 trillion by 2030. I said 3 years ago, this asset class is not going to just be another asset class. This is going to be the asset class to swallow all other asset classes because crypto is going to tokenize all the other asset classes. So this is going to be literally multi-trillions, if not quadrillions, okay? All right, now this is good stuff. Breaking news, I've just released the full trading report on politicians in 2021. In short, many beat the market. They've traded more than ever before, and they made numerous unusually timed trades, resulting in huge gains. It's showing you all of the politicians that beat the SPY, which is, I think it's like an index that tracks the S&P 500. These are the ones that beat the S&P 500 in 2021. There's an awful lot of them. These people need to be held accountable, folks. All right, and I saw this literally this morning. Scoop, Eleanor Terrett. Scoop, the expert discovery deadline in Ripple versus SEC case will be pushed back a month due to the rapid spread of the Omicron variant. A source close to case tells Fox Business a letter outlining this new motion will be filed in court as early as tomorrow. Now, folks, I think this is just lawyers that are looking for another excuse to get more time. James Phelan weighed in on it. Due to the complications related to COVID, the parties have filed a joint letter requesting until February 28, 2022 to complete expert discovery, stating that the extension, if granted, will not impact any other deadline in the case. My belief is that before filing this motion, the parties agreed to specific dates for every remaining expert deposition, far enough out that they believe the COVID won't be a problem, so that they could say, the court, that all expert discovery would be completed by February 28th. Okay? All right. And then there's this. Jerome Powell says the report on digital currencies is ready to go. So they're going to, within a few weeks, they're going to release the report on digital currencies from the Federal Reserve. Now, Tom Emmer did something. Look, just when you think that there are no good guys in this space, look no further than Tom Emmer, okay? This tweet is on the money. He says, today I introduced a bill prohibiting the Fed from issuing a central bank digital currency directly to individuals. Here's why it matters. As other countries like China develop CBDCs that fundamentally omit the benefits and protections of cash, it is more important than ever to ensure the U.S. digital currency policy protects financial privacy, maintains the dollar's dominance, and cultivates innovation. Now, I've told you a million times on this channel, folks, digital currency can be used for good or for evil. China is going to use it to control its people for evil. This is programmable money, folks. That means that it can be used to control the people. Oh, you're not doing what the government says? Well, we'll just turn your digital money off. That's what Tom Emmer is addressing here, and you better be glad he is, because trust you me, there's a lot of people behind all of this that would love to use it for evil, that want to use it for evil. A lot of these people only like it because it can be used for evil. And then Tom Emmer goes on, CBDCs that fail to adhere to these three basic principles could enable an entity like the Federal Reserve to mobilize itself into a retail bank, collect personally identifiable information on users, and track their transactions indefinitely. Not only does this CBDC model raise a single point of failure issue, leaving Americans' financial information vulnerable to attack, but it could be used as a surveillance tool that Americans should never be forced to tolerate from their own government. Requiring users to open an account at the Fed to access a United States CBDC would put the Fed on an insidious path akin to China's digital authoritarianism. Any CBDC implemented by the Fed must be open, permissionless, and private. This means that any digital dollar must be accessible to all, transact on the blockchain that is transparent to all, and maintain the privacy elements of cash. In order to maintain the dollar status as the world reserve currency in the digital age, it's important that the United States lead with a posture that prioritizes innovation and does not aim to compete with the private sector. Simply put, we must prioritize blockchain technology with American characteristics rather than mimic China digital authoritarianism out of fear. He just knocked it out of the park, folks. This is one of the good guys. Now, remember the Digital Pound Foundation that Ripple is a part of? Remember that? All right. They have written a blog entry, and I wanted to read you a section of it. It is right here. Enterprises across the world have therefore been working on new infrastructures to support what is becoming, in effect, a new operating system. Early models include the service constructs of the new marketplaces such as Amazon, Alibaba, WeChat, Facebook that are built on this new operating system. More far-reaching infrastructure work stretches beyond even those. On top of that, the digital revolution and the new operating system to which it gives rise has the capability to restore and reinforce social trust and the common good, and to better reflect our changing and much needed attitudes to value, particularly the ways in which value is impacted by environmental and social outcomes. Money is rightly adapting to facilitate this metamorphosis, and any discussion of new forms of money must sit within this new all-enveloping construct of a digital economy. Now, Patrick Riley, he's the guy with Reaper Financial, I think it's called. He says, those that think an XRP buyback is outside of the realm of reality don't know history. It's not a theory, it's a legal precedence. Under executive order, this is when they made everybody turn in their gold. Now owned by them, all persons are required to deliver on or before May 1st, 1933, all gold coin, gold bullion, and gold certificates now owned by them to a Federal Reserve Bank, branch, or agency, or to any member bank of the Federal Reserve System. That was an executive order on April 5th, 1933, folks. So it's not a crazy idea, this idea. Now, let me tell you what else is not a crazy idea. You know, we've been seeing all these folks, it's been coming out of the IMF and the World Economic Forum and all these global entities. They keep teasing this idea. It's almost like they're trying to throw it out there. This idea that there's going to be some kind of major cyber attack actually makes you wonder who's actually going to be behind it when we have one. Breaking news. European Union governments will launch later this week a simulation of cyber attacks against multiple member states. As I already mentioned, the IMF, 10 countries did cyber attack simulation on the global financial system in early December. For those of you that have been around, you've seen me play this before. Jim Rickards is one of the more connected people in finance in the United States. This guy has connections all the way to the heights of government. I've shown you this video before. I'm going to show it to you again. Listen to this.
I was having dinner with a friend not long ago in New York City. We met at a place called Oriole, which is in Midtown. My dinner companion that night was a senior advisor to BlackRock. As you may know, BlackRock is now the largest asset manager on the planet. It directly manages $5 trillion in assets, and it oversees another $11 trillion through its Aladdin platform. That means one firm controls more money than the GDPs of China, Russia, and Japan combined. Anyway, my dinner companion happens to work directly for BlackRock's CEO. As we nursed our white wine and the evening wore on, she let something slip. If I remember her words, she said something like, "They want to tell us we can't sell." What was she talking about? Who was she talking about? These elites share one vision, and they're about to make it a reality. That vision is one world order, one world taxation, and one world money. They've worked for years behind the scenes preparing to realize that vision. They've literally rigged the laws of international finance. Everything is basically in place right now, and there's essentially no way to stop this from happening. When the crisis hits, they'll flip the switch, freezing the global financial system. That will give them time to reset the world economy according to their vision.
What did these elites want from your contact at BlackRock?
Basically, they want to classify BlackRock as too big to fail. The technical term is Systemically Important Financial Institution, or SIFI. That designation normally applies to banks, such as Bank of America. If your bank gets the SIFI label, it means the government will bail you out first in a crisis. But it also means you must turn over control of your bank until the crisis subsides. In this case, they're trying to reclassify BlackRock, an asset manager, as too big to fail. If they succeed, they'll be able to freeze BlackRock when the crisis hits. BlackRock clients won't be able to sell. They won't be able to buy either. Their accounts will go dark indefinitely. And the elite operatives will take control of BlackRock's assets remotely via the internet. But our research shows that their ICE 9 plan goes much.
Now, that's part of it, and there may be a little overlap here, but this is another part of it.
But my point is, I came away from all three meetings convinced of one thing. When the next crisis hits, the elites are planning to freeze the financial system, and they'll replace it with a new system, one not based on the US dollar. When that happens, we'll wake up to a very strange and disturbing new reality.
And for our viewers that are watching today, what might their reality look like that morning? How does this manifest?
First, they'll have gone to bed knowing that a massive financial crisis was underway. But when they wake up, they'll find it has worsened and the contagion has spread worldwide. When they go to withdraw money, their ATM will say, closed temporarily. When they go to sell stocks, their account will say, transaction not available. When they go to their local business, that business will only accept cash if it's open. As citizens realize they're being barred from their money, riots will erupt. It's going to get really bad really quickly.
How would such a freeze actually work? And wouldn't that be highly illegal?
Well, it wouldn't be illegal technically because they've been quietly laying the groundwork for years. They've rigged the financial laws, changed the rules of the game to allow this to happen. The stage is set. They have the levers in place. The lights are positioned. Now someone just needs to flick a switch and they'll impose ICE 9 rapidly. And again, all of this will be legal because they've rigged the system in their favor. Here in the U.S., for example, Congress pushed through something called the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, or IEPA. This allows the government to freeze accounts, assets, even whole institutions at will. The only condition is that there's some threat to national security with a foreign connection. Of course, with a global market, every financial crisis has a foreign connection. Any systemic crisis fits the bill. And the thing is, when the next crisis hits, it's going to be so bad, President Trump won't have any choice but to go along with the elite's plan. Wow.
Okay, so there's that. And then this is Jim Rickards. This is back, I think it was on October 4th, 2021. Listen to this.
100%.
Because the question you have to ask is, well, what does all that ICE 9 stuff have to do with a cyber attack? Well, here he's talking about the cyber attacks.
100%. So things are actually playing out the way we told the Pentagon 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And the new book actually takes the story forward.
I want to go to this idea of a cyber financial attack because you're not the only business leader and really pioneering mind thinking about this. We had Raj Cohen on, senior chairman at Sullivan and Cromwell, on Friday, and I actually asked him, what is the thing that keeps you up at night? Here's what he told me.
I think there is a definite threat out there, not only from the private sector hackers, but I'm even more worried about state-sponsored terrorism and state-sponsored attacks on the United States. And
meaning through the banking system.
Exactly, through the banking system.
So that's a Raj Cohen, and very few people know the financial system in this country or in others as well as he does. You've told me before, cyber financial attacks are the new nuclear weapons, right?
Cyber is a worry. Financial attacks are a worry. Imagine combining the two. You can actually, and by the way, this is one reason U.S. sanctions on Russia will not go very far, because Russia can escalate, unlike Libya or Syria or places like that. And Russia's already said, if we did serious things like freezing Putin's assets, they could actually close the New York Stock Exchange with their hackers. August 22nd, 2000.
Wait, Jim, hold on. You say if the U.S. made such a bold diplomatic statement, the NYSE would be closed.
They're capable of that. August 22nd, 2013, NASDAQ was closed for half a day. We've never had a credible explanation as to what happened there.
What about just a bug in the machine?
Okay, so there's that. And then there's this. This is from one of Jim Rickards' books. The use of these emergency powers, economic powers, and martial law is a more coercive version of the ICE 9 plan to freeze accounts in place. ICE 9 is intended to buy time and restore calm while elites work on plans to allocate losses and reliquify the system with IMF special drawing rights. If events spin out of control faster than elites expect, more radical measures may be needed. Such measures may involve property confiscation. Let me say that again. Such measures may involve property confiscation. Now, let me tell you what I'm doing. Two things. Well, three things. First is have an antivirus software on your computer. They're talking about cyber attack, just because you need, not just that, but you need that in case hackers target you. Also, have a VPN. I'm going to have all this in the top of the description of my video. Pure VPN, there's a link. That way you can surf the web anonymously, okay? It prevents you from being targeted. Everybody listening to my voice should have a virtual private network on their computer. The next thing I'm doing is I'm making sure that a large portion of my precious, and I do mean precious, XRP is on a Ledger Nano S, okay? Or actually more than one Ledger Nano S. So that's what you do. This is in the top of the description. You can get 3 Ledger Nano S's for $139 on their site right now. I've got a link to this in the top of the description of this video. Go check it out. Folks, I don't trust anybody. I don't trust any of these people. I think that when I think basically what Jim Rickards was saying, if you look back at this excerpt right here, I think that what he's saying, such measures may involve property confiscation. Think about what the guy was saying earlier. Let me go back. Remember this, Patrick Riley? Those that think an XRP buyback is outside the realm of reality don't know history. Well, after we saw the bailouts of 2008, you know what else there's precedence for is bailouts. You know what else they've been writing into laws? Look it up. Don't take my word for it. These banks, in their documentation, have the word bail-ins. You know what that means? Look up Cyprus. What they did, I don't remember what year it was. They literally closed people. That's what Jim Rickards is talking about as bail-ins. They closed people's bank accounts. They declared an emergency, a bank holiday. They closed people's bank accounts. While they had the holiday, they literally stole X percentage out of people's bank accounts. It's already been done in Cyprus, and it's already been written into the documentation at a lot of these banks, probably all of them, who knows. And so for that reason, I'm going to control my own XRP, because if they can do it to banks, they could do it to a Coinbase account too. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I'm not sitting around waiting for the IMF or the U.S. government to decide what's going to be done with my money. I'm going to control my own money.